Professor Ben, what is metastatic breast cancer?
Okay, hi. So first call me Carol. Metastatic breast cancer is when cancer cells that have left their original environment have moved elsewhere. So I think people should understand that cancer is a bit like a terrorist. It grows, you have a cell that develops and becomes an abnormal cell in an area, and that cell develops certain behavioral characteristics, so it moves elsewhere, either in the lymph or in the blood system, and then it's called metastatic, what's colloquially known as stage 4.
Okay. What are the treatment options for metastatic breast cancer?
Okay. So firstly, I think there are many treatment options, and I've written something on last dance on the Titanic, and I often talk to people and patients because it's incredibly traumatizing knowing that you've got a cancer and it's either come back and gone elsewhere, or you're presenting initially with a cancer that is not just in its host organ but elsewhere in the body. So there are many options available for people today. I would say oncology is the umbrella under which everything sits. And you can divide that umbrella of treatment into 4 different types of treatment. One is with breast, endocrine, which is hormonally manipulating tumors. The other is what we call target therapies. That's a bit like playing Pac-Man with cancer cells. We have a wonderful new field on what we call immunotherapies, and that is where we take a cancer and you're taking cells in your body and they are learning to kill those cells. So think of it a bit in terms of like a bee sting. You get stung by a bee, and the second time around you get a reaction. So what we're doing is we're developing an allergic and immunological reaction to that cancer. And the fourth is what people understand as chemotherapy, but it really means cytotoxic medicines that kill cells. And we use a combination of different medicines and treatments, and we give a little bit of medicine on, off, and you want long-term durable responses with quality of life. I think that's where the concept of last dance on the Titanic is. I always feel that people going through cancer care, particularly when it's come back, are incredibly brave. And they really remind me much of that scene when you had people putting on their ball gowns and dancing as the ship went down. There's a traumatizing, yet I have the most unbelievable respect for it. But the positive of this is that more and more people reach the lifeboats as we get better and better at treating cancer. So previously, where everyone would go, oh, stage 4 cancer, you're going to die of cancer, it's not necessarily like that today. And people with metastatic breast cancer can live for many, many, many years, 10, 15, many years, lifetime years, with cancer treatment and on cancer treatment. So in fact, there's an entire new field called advanced breast cancer, and it meets every second year in Lisbon, and it's a very, very important field. It's a field where patients often battle to get together and communicate because it's quite traumatizing, and you're never quite sure what to say or what not to say. But it's important because technically we're all on our own Titanic. I always say that the severe anxiety because I'm going to come on a plane tonight. But the fact of the matter is each day is the same for everybody. And we need to know that we must go through our days with positive happiness and a will to live with the quality of life. Because there's no difference between any one of us on the planet.
The question everyone is too afraid to ask, am I going to die?
So I think I partially touched on that with my concept of getting on a plane. Yes. So I always feel a little bit like Chicken Little. Taking the landing. Okay. So the fact of the matter is, okay, we don't know our when, and we don't know our timing. And another nice analogy is that of the concept of the 3 fates, the Greek fates, okay, the making of life and the sewing of the garment and the cutting of the thread. And you don't know, it's different for each person. So you need to understand with treatment that you're in a team that is going to give you an understanding to where the disease is and what's happening, as well as options around treatment where the quality of life is not impacted too severely by the treatment you're getting. So if people, and also people tell you when they've had enough's enough and when they want to do and how they feel. And life is about open communication. I mean, I just bumped into a husband of a patient who unfortunately has who's not with us, who died on the weekend, and there's a 3-year-old child, and I said, I'm absolutely happy to come and sit and talk because the where's mommy and all the stresses around family that you don't know. And she's had her stage 4 metastatic breast cancer for a long time until she finally said, enough's enough.
Okay. Carol, how will the latest treatment and diagnosis affect my daily life?
So each treatment is different, each person is different. I'm very anti on this concept of recipe. When people turn around and they go, well, my friend had both her breasts, therefore I must, or my friend had this, my friend had bad side effects on tamoxifen, therefore I'm not going to take it. Each one of us looks different, our bodies are different, our cancers are different, and how we respond to treatment is different too. So for one person, it may severely affect, and then you need to change the treatment, for the other not. So I always give the example, I'm not allergic to augmentin, but if I take it orally, I can partly trick and vomit it out my nose, okay? But if I take it in a little drip form, I'm fine. It's not an allergy, it's just I have like a sensitive gut, so then I have side effects and vomities. So it's the same for patients. So some people can be on one treatment and have almost no side effects. And the concept is manipulating and understanding the patient and the treatment. And that's where you need to have a good communication with your treating medical team.
Thank you. Where or how could I access the latest clinical trials and clinical research?
That is such a fabulous question. So we touched on it in our MDM today. There are many trials available. You need to ask your multidisciplinary team. So we have a professor in our unit who is spectacular. In fact, he's got one of the only trial sites in the country for certain trials we're talking about this morning. You can go on to trial.org and you can have a look and you can see what's locally available and also what's internationally available. So I've currently got about 4 or 5 of my government patients that I've put onto what technically is a private run trial. These things are important, and we must understand that a trial doesn't mean medicine versus a placebo. A trial is taking something better than what's current gold standard.
Okay. And do you have any comments on palliative care?
Very important. Palliation is part of life. Okay. So the term palliation for me is not a great palliation, not term, because we go palliate. It actually means to make better. But we think it means people at end stage life. We have to palliate everything in our lives every single day. So it's how you help people in different stages of treatment. And that's the concept of side effects and quality of life and honest conversations about, and this is where navigation comes in, finances, life organization, who's helping out with family and friends, how mobile am I, how am I managing my treatment versus my life.
Is there anything else
You
you'd
want to add?
like to add, like that a next patient would want to know?
Absolutely. So I think for me what's important is that we need more, not this negative chat groups around metastatic breast cancer, but we need positive, life affirming. I always comment, one of the oldest studies around metastatic was done in the 50s, and they took patients in those stages that didn't have a lot of treatment, and they said to them, 2 groups. You're going to die, you have 6 months. That is my worst comment. If any doctor says to you, this is your time in the sand line, okay, think very carefully about where you're having treatment. They can give you a plus minus, but they're not God, okay? So basically, and they took those patients and they said, the other group, and they said, if you don't have treatment available, we want you to go and do things, like learn to make gardens, some of them are Zen gardens, do positive. And in that group, 50% were alive 18 months down the line. So understand the power of doing things in your life every day. Learn things new, take a positive, reaffirming aspect to life. And I think we need this in the metastatic groups. The other thing I want to warn people about, a very easy word is the word charlatan. But anyone who tells you they've got 100% or a 100% cure, or we can give you X and we cure all cancer, or you see something on the internet, this is the new, be careful. And if you are going to go a route, you need to have a scientific evidence that that route works. So pick your route, but then have a sonar 3 months later to see the cancer is the same, smaller, or growing. So I'm not saying things that are not under our medical understanding don't work, but we want proof that they do work.